This is another power supply for a Linn Majik 6100. This is the spare. I thought about even not showing this because it's just the 4 caps, right? But this one had a 5th one. So here goes. We'll fix this one, test it, and get it on its way. This is the second power supply for the Linn Majik 6100. This was the spare. Actually, this was the one that was in the unit because it had been changed out before. And the one that I repaired was the spare that I put into the amp. So this now becomes the spare. And if we remember from the first one, that the 4 surface-mounted electrolytic caps were bad. And the other caps all tested good. We're going to test the caps on this one and see whether there's any more that are bad, other than the 4 that we already know will be bad, which I can certainly verify. So if I test these ones, you'll see that that one's open. And that one's open. Just pop off the heat sink here. That one's open. And that one's open. So we know that those 4 are also all open. If we test the other ones on the other side, these are the through-hole caps. We'll start over here. That looks okay. That looks okay. Next one over here. There's just 2 more of them over here. That looks okay. That one looks okay there as well. That one's okay. That one's okay. That one's okay. And that one is open. So that one tested okay on the other one. On this one, this 100 microfarad, 100 volt rated cap has gone open. So we have 5 to change on this one. Now this unit, this obviously is going to go back to the owner as his spare, but we want to make sure that the power supply works. So I've got the caps here. I already pre-tested this, so I knew what I needed before making my trip in, because I had to pick up some caps. I had to get a 200 volt rated 10 microfarad cap. My normal parts supplier didn't have one, but I was able to find one. And then I've got 3 22 microfarad. We're going to go up to 63 volts because that's what they've got now. And of course the 2.2. So like the other ones, we're going to cut these ones out and just cut them, replace them, and of course replace this one, and then I'll test the power supply to make sure that it's working. So like before, we'll just use the good old cut and pull procedure. I guess I could use the air gun, but I don't want to, because like I've said before, when you've got all these little parts here, you pretty much have to put some metallic tape over top of them to keep them from heating up when you do it. It's just as easy to just pop the caps out, cut them off, cut the tops off, and then remove the base. This is the easiest, and I think probably one of the safest way to get these type of caps off the board without risking damaging the circuit board. As you can see, these ones are completely dry. There's no liquid of any kind left in them. So after a trip to a second store to get a 100 microfarad 100 volt cap, I can now proceed with replacing the bad cap on this Linn power supply board and verifying operation. Sometimes we just have to use a helper. Okay, once I have this part replaced, the power supply should be ready for testing. Okay, now to test the power supply to make sure everything's working, we'll apply power to the switch. 29 volts there. And our negative supply is negative 29 volts. So the supply is working. Just throw a little bit of silicone onto the tops of the parts I've put in, just to kind of secure them so that so any vibrations during shipping won't knock the parts loose, because they are now just tacked onto the board instead of the surface mounted type. But this power supply now appears to be working. Put it on the meter there and it's getting the proper voltages. So I would say that this one's probably good to go as a spare. I'm not going to put this one obviously back into the unit. I'll send this one back as a spare, so that when the other one finally does break down again, he has a spare to replace it with, and that should keep that Linn amplifier going for many years to come. Thanks for watching.